Listen, you know what time it is. It's time for another episode of your favorite podcast entitled We Hate You, Internet!
Yeah, we already have a community where I help like my followers quit porn, but I'm working on like a lot of free products, because for people who are not willing to like, who are not able to invest, because I want to help everyone,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's gonna come out like today.
Oh man, that's dope, man. I can appreciate that. I really do. And so, you mentioned something when you were talking about just the depression and the mental health and all that kind of jazz, isolation. You mentioned about being bullied at school.
Oh yeah.
So like, what how much does that affect? I know you mentioned that like a lot of the stuff you make is from like 90% is from your life, but just because I see you doing a lot of working out stuff and self-improvement stuff. So like, how did you make that transition? Like when did the bullying start? How long did it last? And then when did you make that transition? And what was it that caused you to make that transition?
Definitely started in middle school, and I think I'm more of like a very self-accountable person. Like all this is my fault. Like this is like because it's like at the end of the day, like you can't blame people for like what they did to you, because it's like you allowed it to happen. Definitely middle school. I went to growing up, like I lived in an all white area. Like I live in Memorial.
Yeah.
Like I'm the only black guy, and like
The pepperhead.
yeah.
Providing flavor.
They used to
I'm
like
sorry.
the token.
Yo.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. We're not gonna go. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's like I would definitely try to like fit in with like that's just normal. Like when you're like a minority anywhere, like you try to fit in, but a lot of people would not be like accepting of you, and it's kind of like it's just kind of like an not only external but internal conflict within yourself, because then you lose yourself, you lose respect for yourself, you question who you are, and you question your worth. And then when you're going through all these things, it's like you become you just allow like people to take advantage of you, bully you. Like I never really stood up for myself. No one taught me any of these things. Like that's why I'm saying like a lot of my content's from experience, because it's like I didn't have anyone to like talk to about these things. I never told my parents. I never I'm the oldest in my family as well, so like it's just more like, and also my parents, they're from like Kenya. They're not even like, so I'm the first gen like U.S. school. I have a younger brother, but like I'm like the oldest, so going through all these things, it's like definitely it took me a while to start building up courage. 'Cause I would allow it to happen just because I would really like just I'd try my best to fit in, because I want to have like friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And not, I always had like a few friends, but I wanted to, like kind of, I just wanted like more validation for myself. So I would definitely I'd put myself in situations to where like I would be like a target, right? And as easy as it sounds, like if anyone's getting like bullied or whatever, like first they need to step away. Like they need to, because I think a lot of things are, it's like you put yourself in these situations, like first is step away, which is what I did. And that, like you asked, like how like I would actually like, get into working out, because that's when you find yourself. But before that, I was getting into like a lot of fights in school, like a lot, like due to like racism, just like people like hitting me or whatever. Like I get into a lot, like I get suspended a lot. I never got like expelled in the I've had like a lot of conversations with like my principals and stuff. And there was one that really stuck with me, because like it's like a learning lesson. So, because usually people would like verbally like disrespect me, and I'd fight them like right away. But one thing I learned is that like kind of like, especially if you're in this like social media game, you're gonna have a lot of hate.
Yeah.
I can't just do that. Like in the real world, I can't just, someone says something I don't like, I just punch him. Cause that's what I used to do a lot. Like I get in a lot of fights, stuff like that. And like that's why I recommend the first thing is to step away, and the next step, if you are in a position to where you can't, which I was in a lot of positions where I can't, like you have to just stand up for yourself, because um I'm not really a guy that's really big into like pride or ego, but it's kind of like there's like certain boundaries where it's kind of like you have to just say like screw it, like
Yeah.
like just like this is too much, like you need to like do something about it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, I'm gonna throw a stat at you. Just tell me what you think. You know what I mean? I saw a report. It said 74% of those that are in considered Gen Z, you know, they feel lonely, or they report feeling like extreme loneliness. You know what I mean? In another report, they said 1 out of 4 Americans across the board feel lonely. That's like 82 million people.
1 out of 4 Americans feel lonely.
Yeah, like all age ranges, like 1 out of 4, 25% express feeling lonely. You know what I mean? Do you think does that sound right to you as far as the way that the world is now?
I
And
think it's way more.
really,
Yeah. So like one of the reasons why I think a lot of people, when I say the self accountability thing, I think a lot of people like they feel a lot of these things, but they don't want to like admit it. They don't like to face their problems. So like,
yeah,
especially with like how the world is going, I think like usually I'd say like top 10% of people they're chilling, but I think everyone else is like really lonely, and I can tell, especially with like the content I post, because I do cater to a lot of people that feeling lonely. Those videos do go the most viral because like a lot of people, especially how the internet works, you know, a lot of people are like more isolated behind the screen,
yeah.
and makes it harder for people to get out there and stuff like that. So definitely, I do think a lot more people are lonely than that statistic.
Typically, the statistics are always going to be low anyway, because you have people that don't report or don't
Yeah,
be
yeah.
honest when they ask the question. Do you think so? You know, social media is designed for us to be social. That's why it's called that.
Yeah.
Do you think that social media actually connects us, or do you think that it actually separates us?
I think it does both
Okay.
because you can definitely, for example, like if you have a friend that's like lives like in California and you live like in New York, you know, social media is really easy to keep in touch with. I think the intention of social media was, you know, keep in touch with people that don't. I think Zuckerberg said something like that. You know, you can keep in touch with people that don't like necessarily live with you and stuff like that. But also the downside is kind of like more and more people are relying on that as a way to socialize. And I think when things really changed was quarantine. That's when I really saw like after quarantine, like life was different. People were there was a bunch more weird agendas. People were like definitely a lot more lonelier, like more antisocial. Cause it's kind of like you're alone, not alone, but you're kind of like everyone's at home,
Yeah.
and all you can do is like be on social media. So I think that really like changed the world because now more people are just isolated. They're behind a screen, and I think it took a lot of the life out of like the world.
I love that answer, because ultimately that's anything and everything in the world. Like, nothing is all good and all bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about how you approach it. You know what I'm saying? There's pros and cons to everything in the world. You know, it's about how you, like you said, how you approach it, how you view it with your perspective. You know what I mean? Social, like I said, Facebook, before it was Facebook, it was called Classmates, and it was designed. It was built to for alumni to stay in touch for schools. That's what it was built for. You know what I mean? And then it became Facebook and all that it is now. So, like you're right. You know, that was its original, face and function was for people to stay in touch after school. You know what I mean? People that follow you go into this high school, you can follow, and then you can keep up with people. Like, oh, I haven't seen this person in so long. Let me see if they're listed on Classmates. You know what I'm saying? It's a really crazy thing because like people, because of the way that like social media is designed now, with all the preferences that you can put into it and everything, people are creating these bubbles for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Where like anything I don't like, I just block out and block, and then whatever I like, and then the algorithm, of course, also feeds you what you like, and what catches your attention the most, so that it continues to just put you in, like, wrap you in this in this cellophane bubble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, so I asked that question, like, do you think it connects us, or do you think it's because, like, the intention behind, like you said, it is to connect, but you cannot replace the authentic connection of people, like, face to face in close quarters.
Yeah.
And that's the part that people are really, like, failing at. You know what I mean? It's just like, you have to get outside. You have to interact with people. You have to deal with people that you don't like. Like, you have to, because all those things are how you build your character and your personality. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like, you went through the situation you went through. It's unfortunate, but you going through the bullying and all that kind of shapes your perspective on, like, shapes how you deal with other people. All that kind of stuff is a part of the problem. I'm not advocating bullying. My point is that in life, some of the negative stuff that you experience is necessary for your development and growth, because it opens up doors and perspectives that you otherwise wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of being a human being. You know what I mean? Like, so trying to isolate yourself from any kind of things that, you know, anything that you don't like, discussions that you don't like, when people leave a comment that you don't like, you want to, like, cancel culture and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's not healthy. It's not beneficial for people. People have to have some resistance.
Yeah.
You work out. You gotta have some resistance in order to get gains.
Yeah.
You can't lift the bar all day and think, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna build something. You gotta get some weight on that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, the more weight, the heavier that it gets, like, you know, and it gets easier, and then you have to put more weight in order to get more gains. That is the human existence. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, but I think that it's something like you hit the nail on the head in being intentional about what you do, how you do it, why you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that helps you to be able to stay connected and stay tethered to reality. You know what I'm saying? You can be on social media, it's cool, but understand that, like, this is not my life. One thing I thought about, you know, and I thought when I was watching some of your stuff, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna start trying to wrap this up. I thought about, you know, I was looking at your content, and I was just thinking about putting myself in the position of someone that's young, that's going through these things, you know what I'm saying? Or just, you know, just gaining perspective. And I was like, social media, if you really want to use it the right way, it is a tool that you use, and you can extract from social media things that you see, things that you learn, things that are interesting, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can apply those things in your real life. You know what I'm saying? The comment section, you comment to people, you may talk back and forth with somebody, but you don't know that person. You have to take what you learn and, like, apply it to your real life and to the real people that you're dealing with, and, like, how you're processing your real life, because social media is not real. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the best way for people to approach this stuff. It's entertainment. You can enjoy it, laugh, giggle, blah, 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 blah. But understand, like, I still have to be Wilford. You still have to be Coltonn. You have to live Coltonn's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be around real people and interact with real people, and, like, you know, and learn how to function in that environment. That's the reason why, like, mental health issues are so on a rise in the way they are, and suicide and anxiety and all this stuff, because it's like, you know, because people are failing to develop the skills necessary to operate and function in the real world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the world, you don't control the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't control everything that happens to you. So you have to learn, like, you have things that are bigger than you in the world that you have to learn how to, you know, you can't just remove it. You have to learn how to work around it, how to compromise, how to, you know what I mean, how to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, it don't matter what you do in your life. It don't matter how much money you have. It don't matter. Like, none of those factors matter. You always gonna run into something that you're gonna have to figure out how to deal with. You can't move it. You can't remove it. You have to figure out how to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? But it's through those processes, like, and I'll keep it real simple, and we're gonna move on to the last couple of questions. We're gonna be done. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, human beings are all about survival. How to survive.
Yeah,
That's probably one of the most human aspects of all. Like, adaptability to survive. You know what I mean? Like, learning how to interact with your environment to give you the best chances to be successful at living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and if people can unlock and understand that, then it's like, okay, then I can start to reclaim what it means to be a human being and how to properly function in my life. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I'm doing on the side, I got a nonprofit. It's called #StayHuman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we really just trying to help people like learn, like I said, how to continue to be a human being, what that means. You know what I mean? Because like people are losing sense of like how to exist as a human being in the world.
Yeah.
You know, and as crazy as that sounds, right? Like it's like you don't know how to deal with problems. You don't know how to like deal with disappointment. Like you don't know how to process your emotions and your feelings. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
but those things, like this is what human beings do. Like this is a part of living as a human being. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, two more questions and we're gonna be done. So I want to talk about AI.
AI.
Right? AI, and I'm going to talk about the. You know, we live in a world where expectations are like all time high.
Mm-hmm.
Like people want everything to be filtered and and auto tuned and cropped, and like they want their life to be like that. You know what I'm saying? But then with like AI, like literally, like the expectation is going to be perfection. You know what I'm saying? And when human beings start to operate, because human beings are inherently imperfect, like, and as a content creator, you know what I'm saying? Like, like we talked about this. We talk about this all the time. You know, AI and stuff like that. But we typically have like a monthly episode trying to kind of keep up with new developments. But like, the expectations of perfection, like, what do you think that's going to do to people?
With AI.
AI, because like the more AI becomes implemented, like it's gonna take processes out of human hands, and then people are going to be it's going to become the new standard. So like example, like you may have AI generate art,
Yeah.
like an AI generated photo, and it's only getting better and better. It's going to be like this perfect woman, perfect man with a perfect whatever, and then people that's going to become the new standard. Perfection. You know what I'm saying? You take pictures now instead of just like photoshopping, like it's gonna be like the AI image is gonna be the image or the standard.
Yeah.
And then people not gonna be able to live up to that. You know what I'm saying? Like and then if you're chasing that, it's gonna cause people to just fall deeper into this, well of despair.
Yeah. I think like AI can definitely revolutionize, which already is like a lot of stuff. Like for example, like editing. Like,
Yeah.
there's like a lot of like I use AI a lot to like make things like faster.
Yeah, indeed.
But in terms of like appearance wise, definitely there's a lot of negative things, but I think it'll definitely come to a point where it's kind of like, like people are chasing the perfect thing, but it's like you kind of will have to be forced to. It's like it's kind of like if you're not on, like for example, if you're not on social media nowadays, it's kind of hard to like stay in touch. Like, so definitely, I think AI will just get to a point, whether it's good or bad, where it's kind of like we would definitely just gonna have to like learn how to like adapt, like kind of just it's just there. Like that's just how like us as society are gonna move forward, and we're just gonna have to like utilize it to what we can do.
I agree 100%. I think that's a very fair answer. Like I think it can be a great tool for those who know how to wield it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think the far majority of the population, really, the world population, are unequipped to properly take advantage of that tool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's like good sides and there's bad sides. Like for
Yeah.
example, like with like back to the porn topic, like there's AI. Like you could make custom whatever, and that will lead someone to fall more into like that hole.
Yeah.
So it's just like I think especially with all these things like social media, everything, like they're all gonna become like revolutionized, like regardless of like there's nothing we can do to like stop, or even if it's like making us like less human or whatever. But I think it's just more like how, like the only thing we can do is like how we can use it. For example, like we use social media to like spread a movement.
Indeed.
But I feel like in terms of like the population, it's like I think it's definitely like up to them to allow like, okay, like AI is doing this, this, and this. I can do this, but even though it'll make my life like worse. Like for example, if I have a photo shoot and it's like I don't like the raw photo or whatever is not like up to standard, like, me using AI and stuff, like, although like it will definitely hurt like my like self-esteem or whatever, but it's like kind of like your self-esteem would probably be hurt regardless if you use it or not, because now you're comparing yourself to AI photos that you probably don't even know if they're AI, because people don't like talk about these things. And it's just, I think you just have to get to a point. It's like, it's going to be in our life regardless, and it's always going to get better and better and better. And it's just like, we choose like how are we going to use it, you know? 'Cause I think like there's also good AIs that help, like especially like social media and stuff like that.
Definitely agree. I mean, the one thing that I would point out, and this is something that, like I said, the show is called "We Hate Your Internet," but we don't actually hate the internet. I realize. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? The show is brought to you by the internet. But it's always just awareness. That's what we talk about. Like, it's because you have to be aware in order for you to make adjustments or to make preparation. You have to first have awareness.
Yeah.
And so, like, like I said, I agree. AI ain't going away. It's going to be in everything that we do. Like, it's the next cell phone. Everybody got a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the next internet. Like, everybody got the internet. Internet runs in everything. AI is going to be in the robots, and like that stuff is coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming right now. I think that it's really important for people to start now making the preparations of how to hold on to their individuality, like who they are in this world. Because like, I use creativity. You know what I mean, right? Like, your creativity, your ideas come from your head. They come from your experiences. You know what I'm saying? So you have an idea, and then you craft it and you put it together. You have a vision, and then you bring your actors in, and you put it all together. And then after that, you edit it. But the idea came from your head. It's your creativity. But if you just say a prompt, and then AI creates everything, then it almost robs you of your creativity if you're not careful.
Yeah.
It'll rob you of your sense of self-value. And then everybody else is like, and if everybody's doing that, then it's like, what makes you special? Because then it's not necessarily, and I guess that's what I said, for those who are prepared to use it, it's going to be a great tool. Because you're going to be able to take what you have in your head and utilize this tool in order to craft it in what you want. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people like social media, like, same example. You take social media, you've used it as a vehicle to accomplish something. So like, but a lot of people are most people are on social media just seeking attention. And it's destroying them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, I think AI is going to be the same thing, you know what I mean, if not worse, because it's going to strip people so much of their individuality, like who they are. They're not going to be able to learn or to appreciate what makes them special, because everybody's going to just utilize AI to do everything. And then what are they going to do with their own hands? Like, how can you differentiate what's me?
Yeah, what's real and what's fake?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. I'm not, like I said, I'm not against AI.
Yeah.
I use AI in some of the things, you know what I mean? Some stuff that I do.
Yeah.
But like, but I do caution people, like, make sure that you are always in control. Make sure that you're always a part of the process, and you know who you are and what you've contributed and what's AI. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if not, then it'd be real easy. Because once everybody start doing it, then it's just like, it's no longer from you. It's just whatever AI comes up with.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? You can't be proud of yourself if you just like, if AI made it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it can strip you. So anyway, last question we done. Typically, I ask this question. It's like, what's one thing that you think that humanity has lost since the full integration of the internet? I think it's a little bit different from your perspective, though, because like, you've lived in a world where internet has been since you were cognizant. So like, what is the one thing that you think that one thing that the internet has affected us in, a negative way?
Definitely authenticity.
Love it.
Like, it's not kind of like what we're talking about with AI, but it's like more of like even personas and a lot of stuff we see online. Like, what's real, what's fake, all this like comparison. For example, you know, people could see like even my page, like, oh, like all these followers, like your life must be no, but it's like they don't understand like what actually goes behind the scenes for a lot of stuff. People don't post, you know, hours they put in. People don't post like things they have to learn, like the failures. So like, and that's fine with them, but it's more like people get the idea that like a lot of stuff is sweet, but it's not,
Yeah.
you know? And I think we're now kind of entering an era where like more authentic people are like blowing up because I think we did get to a point where a lot of stuff was just so superficial, kind of like, you know, the clout era in like 2018, you know, people are just doing just random stuff, you know, but definitely I think we're kind of transitioning back to like, there's too much of like all that fake stuff. People want something, they're craving something like real, like raw, like no edits or whatever. They want like people that are unfiltered, like just kind of, or unapologetically themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything you want to promote or encourage people to take a look at, or any services you have to provide or whatever, you look right at the camera and talk to the people.
Yeah, I mean, so if you struggle with porn, definitely check out my content. I can definitely help you quit. Check out the link in bio. I have free guides and I have a community, God over Degeneracy on top.
Straight up, man. Listen, hey, man, like I told you before earlier, I'm going to tell you again, man, I, for one, really appreciate your content.
Thank
You know
you.
what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of mess out there. Anytime you find somebody that's talking about something real and positive, especially in this generation, like I can really respect that. You know what I'm saying? And then not only are you doing that, but you're effective at it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to commend you. You know what I'm saying?
I
Keep up
really
the good work.
appreciate you for having me on this podcast.
Oh man, it was our
Yeah.
pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And so we'll put all the links in the bio. You know what I'm saying, for people to check it out. Like I said, I think that I hope that, and I'm pretty sure this conversation was beneficial to, you know, I hope that it was beneficial to you as far as you navigate these social media streets. I definitely want to thank my man Coltonn for stopping by. We just want to always encourage you, man. Like, make sure that you take the time to see things from real eyes. You know what I mean? We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like celebrity, social media, this stuff is a filter. But you got to always make sure that you see things for what they really are. At the end of the day, anybody that you watch, they're just real. They're real people, real human beings. They live real lives. They got real problems. Like, nobody's life is perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you shouldn't feel so isolated, and you shouldn't feel, it's important for you to understand that so that you don't feel so alone. One of the things I talk to, my children about and other people, it's just like when they expressing their problems, I tell them, like, you're not so special. And what I mean by that, and people be like, huh? But what I mean by that is just like, your problems are not like exclusive to you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one of the things that really hurt people, is that when you go through something, you feel like I'm the only one that's going through this.
Yeah.
But if you understand, like, no, man, like, it's millions of people that have gone through the same thing you've gone through, or going through the same thing you're going through, and they can make it out on the other end. Like, you can be okay. Like, this situation is not like you're the only one. Like, this situation that you're dealing with, like, it's a thing that it's a normal thing. It happens a lot. People get bullied. It's millions of people that get bullied. There's been billions of people that have been bullied before. You know what I'm saying? So, and I try to help people understand, like, okay, so then you don't have to feel like you're picked out one out of a 7 billion on the earth. Like, you can fix this problem.
Yeah.
You can get better. You can improve. Your life will continue to move forward, and you can decide how you want to move forward in your life. Like, if you're getting molested, like, and that's real heavy, big thing, right? But like, you can, like, it's a situation that happened in life, but you can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your life don't end. It don't have to end. Like, you don't have to give up hope. Like, you can move forward after tragedy. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, at the end of the day, your life is in your hands. Even when you feel, even if you've been victimized and something happened outside of your control, like, you get to choose how you move forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a difficult thing. I'm not trying to make it light, but you can move forward. You get to choose how you move forward in your life. You don't have to be a victim forever. You choose. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, hope it was good for you. I hope that it was beneficial and helpful in some way. And that's going to be it for our show. We're going to leave you like we always do, asking that you stay safe, stay blessed, and please stay human. We out.